What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we are going to talk about the Ripple XRP price chart, and that is going to be the main focus of today's video. I know we've been bouncing around a lot over the last couple of weeks trying to get an idea and understanding of where the whole market is as a whole. Today we're just going to be focusing on the Ripple XRP price chart. We will have to bounce around the market to tie the whole picture together of where we're at right now. But in the end, if we're looking at other charts, it's all tying back to XRP. It's been kind of an interesting story for XRP over the last month, really, because we've just kind of been ranging. We topped back here on April 14th. Today is May 12th. So we have really a whole month of just bouncing around in a range. Meanwhile, there's been a lot of excitement throughout the rest of the market, right? So this, of course, creates a sentiment problem. I saw this poll posted by Crypto Bull 2020, and it says, how are you feeling about XRP right now? 58.9% said great. 41.1% said not good. That's on 5,452 votes. So it's not a small sample size. It's a great sized poll that he's done here. And we have over 41% of people feeling not great about XRP. One of the things I've always talked about with the cryptocurrency market is that this is all based on a ton of emotions. And it's people, when they start using their emotions in investing, in decision making, it's when they start making bad decisions. Whether or not that's because they're depressed and disappointed and they sell bottoms because they've had enough, or they're getting shilled pump and dump coins on Twitter and they decide to buy the top and get wrecked. In the end, emotions play a major role in cryptocurrency and what happens here because it's an incredibly volatile market. It's the most volatile market in the world. So emotionally, you go up and down like crazy, and that can happen in hours. But sometimes it can get drawn out like this for a longer period of time, and we get to a point where we're at right now, 41% of people feel not great about XRP. Here's the really good news about that. On March 11th, he conducted a similar poll and he asked, will XRP miss this bull run? In which 50% of people said yes, based on 5,500 votes. So similar sample size. 50% of people said yes, it will miss the bull run. That was right here. Over the course of the next 40 days, the price of XRP rose by 327%. So if you're over here looking at Ethereum thinking, man, look at this huge rise that Ethereum has, man, this is the one to be in. Let's take a look. How high is this rise from just right here? This rise is 200%. Meanwhile, XRP's most recent pop-up went up 327%. However, the way a chart looks and the bubble structure of it psychologically impacts people. So typically, whatever sentiment is, it gives us a good idea of how many people have just kind of given up. When prices get really high, people are euphoric. They say they'll buy cheaper prices without question. Oh my gosh, I get the messages all the time. Can I buy it? Is the price going to go lower? I'm FOMOing right now. I really want to buy it lower. Are you sure it's going to come back lower? Then as the price settles in, the sentiment starts to kind of change. But this is nothing unusual. And for a lot of people new to this market, they may think that this is unusual, but it's not. It's completely normal. I think in the course of my channel, which has now been over a year and a half, we've gone through maybe 6 moments in time like this. And we've been through far worse. We've been through periods where we had to go 3 to 4 months of going through something like this. And we haven't even gone through 1 month at this point. And you can see back in March, we went through a period of about a month and a half with something like that. But it also makes it really difficult, especially if you're on Twitter, because you see everybody bragging about their pump and dump coins that they're buying and shilling. I get it. I'm pretty frustrated about it too. I mean, essentially what you're seeing people do is buy a garbage coin, then tell everybody, hey, this coin's really good. And then, hours later, they're selling it and dumping on you. Unfortunately, that's what happens in every alt season. And the problem is it creates these false expectations of how a market should behave, that, hey, I should be able to make 400% in an hour. What? I only made 50% this week? It's so massively underperforming. My asset stinks. But the stories that you don't hear about these pump and dumps are all the people who get completely wrecked by them and completely destroyed by them. Most people who buy any of these pump and dump coins lose a lot of money. And people will only post on Twitter if they're doing well. This becomes a problem for the XRP community because the XRP community has very easy access to these pump and dump coins because of Bitrue. Bitrue is a very popular exchange amongst the XRP community, so Bitrue lists these pump and dump coins after they've already risen substantially, making it very easy for XRP community members to access them. So that's why we see so much of it in our, Twitter world or our YouTube world that we live in, that we get these pump and dump coins so much. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, you really kind of have to be on Twitter. But a lot of people are on Twitter, right? I think I have like 116,000 followers on Twitter, where I have 155 subscribers here on YouTube. But if you're active in crypto, you're exposed to all of this. But in the end, these false expectations that, hey, these prices should be pumping really high, really fast, is simply because there's so much pump and dumping going on right now. This stuff will cool down. Reality will set in. The people who get wrecked by these will understand that was a bad idea. But at the same time, it's causing a lot of negative sentiment amongst the XRP community, especially for the people who are unwilling to participate in pump and dumping. When I went into my Twitter feed, it's just constant. It's just constant promoting of meme coins. And so if I'm exposed to it and I only follow, 325 people, then certainly everybody else is being massively exposed to it as well. So from a sentiment standpoint, I wanted to address this, that our community is being hit with negativity. We're having to deal with a lot of garbage right now. But it's not unusual because we're also mixing that with a month of sideways price action. And so what happens is when prices get sideways for a while, people get bored. And when expectations are set on 100% in a day and prices go sideways for a month, expectations are super out of whack, right? For us a year ago at this point, we're sitting in that 22.5 cent zone. We're sitting in that 17.5 cent zone. Getting a 20% rise was something we're like, yeah, man, whoa, sweet. But now this market has just changed, right? Expectations are very different. The market is very parabolic. So even though XRP rose 327% a month ago, sentiment is now poor. And so before we dive into XRP and talk more about it too, I do want to, just because I know the XRP community is getting hit with so much of this pump and dump marketing from other XRP community members, I want to show you Elon right here, right? This is the one that was just all over yesterday, right? And you look at it over here on Bitrue, it's at 206, whatever that is, right? Quadrillionths of a penny. I don't know. This is beyond a penny stock. This is a garbage piece of junk. But you can see it got listed over here on Bitrue yesterday. Immediately within the first 10 minutes, the first 15 minutes, anybody who bought this thing in the first 15 minutes of it being on Bitrue lost 80% of their money. Now, you don't see that on Twitter, do you? One thing you also don't see on Twitter is that if we look at the historical chart that this coin was released on April 23rd, that just in the last couple of days, actually last 48 hours, the price has risen 476%. And really in its last 3 weeks, the price has risen 60,000%. And yet here you are allowed to buy it after it's risen 60,000% over on Bitrue. And what you're not seeing over there on Twitter, when you see all these people trying to convince you to buy these pump and dump things, is that everybody who bought it in the first 15, 20 minutes, even the first 20 minutes, they lost 50% of their money, 80, 90% of their money lost. But our expectations get set on, hey, I need to make all this money super really fast because everybody around me is making money really fast. But that is not the case. People who lose 80% of their money do not run to Twitter to brag about it. They're embarrassed that they even did it in the first place, and it just sits there in the shadows. So you have no idea that most people get absolutely hammered and wrecked by these pump and dump schemes. But at the same time, the people who do well on them brag, and it creates this false expectation within a community that my asset is sitting flat right here and boring and everybody around me is winning. But that's not true. They're not. They're getting hammered. They're just not posting about the fact that they're getting hammered. There is always a few people who win in pump and dump schemes, and I'm certain in the comments of this video, people will say, I won. But the reality is, most do not. So, like I said, we're dealing with a situation where XRP has been consolidating for a month, and the XRP community is promoting tons of pump and dump schemes at the same time. And you only see the winners posting when they make hundreds of percents in a day. And you have to think of it as a situation where 1 out of 100 people win. And the one person who wins posts on Twitter that they won, and the 99 people who lost stay silent and don't say anything. However, you're only seeing that one person saying that they won, so your assumption is that everybody's winning, but that's not what's happening, and I promise. And when we just go back to the basics and stop thinking about this high stakes, crazy gambling that's happening with people posting pump and dump meme coins, and we stick to what are the coins in the top 100 or the coins in the top 50 and focusing on the market of liquidity, XRP is not performing poorly, even though sentiment would lead you to believe that it is. And in any type of structure and in any type of move up, there is always a consolidation period. There's always going to be a resistance level. For 6 months leading up to this moment, that target was always to get to $2. You can go look through all my videos, see how many thumbnails had an arrow pointing up to $2. And then in those videos talking about a scary pullback to like 85 cents. Look at this. It's doing precisely what we've expected, and we're just consolidating, waiting for our big breakout. The same thing will happen that always happens. We see sentiment go in the gutter, and then the prices explode, and people say, I wish I would have bought more. It happens every time. Of course, I'm not telling you to buy. I never tell anybody to do anything, but it's what we see every single time. The price goes sideways after extreme euphoria. In this bull run, in this moment, in this ride up right here, I said we're extremely excited. We're likely to see a pullback and we're likely to see a sentiment change. I said it in at least 5 videos. We've got it. You've got negative sentiment from boredom, while there's other price action in the market. Nothing has changed with the structure of XRP, and it is still setting up identically to what we've seen before. Targets still out there for the full extension of a bull run. We can create every case we want to say that this thing just broke out of its big old triangle. This was the back test, even an extension up from here, even using it right on the back test still. What does that get to? That gets you to 13 bucks, 10 to 13. We always talk about it. And what you don't see in a log scale looking chart like this is if we kind of draw a line out right there like that and we take ourselves off of this log scale, what does that end up looking like? It ends up looking like that, right? Where are we seeing things like this happen? Ethereum, Bitcoin, total altcoin market cap. And if you think FOMO won't set in at that moment, well, just look what's happening with Ethereum. Look what's happening with people paying over 60,000% rise and then they buy it for all of these garbage coins, right? One other thing I was looking at as well, I was comparing the total market cap of XRP versus the total market cap of Ethereum and looking at what happened in each of these previous bull runs. So we had 2 alt season cycles that happened in 2017, and you can see in both circumstances that Ethereum led the way. And in both seasons, both times, XRP flipped Ethereum at one point. Both times. And the distance that there was between the market cap of XRP and Ethereum was not insignificant. You could see right here from here to here, which is what we believe we're in right now. That was a 686% difference between the market caps of Ethereum and XRP. And then XRP flipped Ethereum 686%. Where are you at right now? 875% of a difference. The slingshot is pulled back. How far was this one way down in here? This one was 472. How far was this one way back in here? This one right here was 2,000%. So it's not unusual that we've seen these times where Ethereum goes off way ahead. But in each of these alt seasons, it has gotten so chaotic with XRP and so euphoric and so exciting that Ethereum got flipped by XRP. Why is that so great? Because the market cap of Ethereum is $500 billion. And if XRP is to flip Ethereum and catch up and bypass Ethereum, what price does that make XRP? You better believe it, above $10. And we've seen that happen in each of the previous alt seasons, and we've seen XRP get pulled back by this amount in previous alt seasons before. And when this thing blasts out of here and just suddenly gets going, like it's done in the previous bull runs, you better believe all of that sentiment will change all over again, and all the excitement and all the focus and all the news narratives will be about XRP all over again. and to keep your head up and not focus on these pump and dump schemes and these unreal expectations, because the reality is most people who participate in pump and dumps get absolutely hammered and destroyed, and they never say a word about it. But over the course of the last year, XRP has risen 1,200%. And for me, that's a pretty darn good return. So for me, on the short-term time frame, I'm studying these Fibonacci's. I'm waiting to see us completely break out of here. And if we can take out and close with conviction above that 786, which we've touched before, we'll get this party started right there at $1.75. But all right, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you to Crypto Bull 2020 for those polls. He also shot me a message. He's like, hey, man, can we get a video completely dedicated to XRP? And he was completely right. We needed one. But it's midweek. I hope that you guys are doing great. And we're just patiently waiting on XRP. But you better believe my faith is still fully there that we're going to see our prices get much higher for the XRP price chart. So, all right, I'll wrap this thing up. I hope you're doing well. If you'd like, of course, you could check out my website, which is bcbacker.com. This is my course where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the different altcoin market cycles, and the alt seasons, tying them together of where they've happened, when they've happened. I talk about my exit plans. I talk about mathematics, percentages, rebalancing, how to set up your own tools and indicators in TradingView and set up your own charts, also using charts.cointrader.pro. I've got some updates that I've recently added in here within the last couple of weeks. You could check that out for Ethereum and down here on April 30th. And you guys can check out my website over here, bcbacker.com. You could follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.